The iron gate groans, its hinges scream against the cold stone, and then silence. This is not the roar of the Colosseum. This is Capua, around 73 BC. A gladiator school, the ludus. Outside, the Roman crowds thirst for spectacle. Inside, men are stripped, broken, and remade into property. Their bodies belong to the lanista, their souls to the silence. The world remembers the blood on the sand. But the true war, the cruelest one, was fought before the arena ever opened. This is the story of the fight beneath the applause, the battle for identity in a system designed to erase it. 1. The auction and the branding. His name was taken on the road south. Chains bit his wrists, dust clung to his skin, and by the time he reached Capua, he was already half erased. At the auction, buyers ran their hands across his shoulders, prodding muscle, inspecting teeth. He was not a man anymore, he was an investment. When the lanista bought him, he was stripped, shorn, and branded with hot iron. The mark burned not just flesh, it marked ownership. His new name was one syllable barked by a trainer, Castus. A name that meant nothing, a sound for summoning property. 2. The life of the ludus. The ludus was not a home, it was a machine. The air smelled of blood and vinegar. The walls were slick with sweat and fear. The men slept on straw that crawled with lice. Each day was a cycle of exhaustion. Rise before dawn, scrub stones, train until you bled, eat gray barley and drink sour wine. The veterans, older, scarred, silent, ruled through pain. They were not comrades. They were predators. The weak fed the strong. This was how the lanista kept order. Even in captivity, Rome demanded hierarchy. And the ludus was a perfect reflection of Rome itself, a pyramid built on human suffering. 3. The tyranny and the peers. New recruits called tyranny slept on the coldest floors. Their clothes were rags, their rations smaller. To look a veteran in the eye was an invitation to punishment. Bread was stolen as a lesson. Water withheld as a test. The weakest were sold off to the mines within a week, their worth judged not by skill but by silence. The lanista's rule was simple. Those who broke could not fight. Those who could not fight were wasted coin. So he used men to break each other in a forge of cruelty that kept the wheels turning. 4. The river stone. Among the filth, Castus kept one thing. A small, smooth river stone hidden in his palm, the last piece of the life he once had. He held it when the pain became too sharp to bear. He pressed it into his skin until his hand ached. It reminded him of what the ludus wanted him to forget, that he had once belonged to himself. In a world of iron, the smallest pebble could be rebellion. 5. The breaking. 3 weeks passed. The new recruits thinned. Those who remained were silent, obedient, mechanical. The doctor, a former champion scarred from throat to knee, watched them carefully. He called Castus to the yard one morning and pointed to a trembling boy, barely 18. "This one will die in the arena," the doctor said. "Do not waste the lanista's coin. Teach him his place." The meaning was clear. Hurt him. Break him. Become the hammer. Every man in the yard waited. The hierarchy demanded obedience. The ludus demanded cruelty. Castus looked at the boy and then said the only words that were truly his. "I will not." The yard froze. It was not a shout. It was a statement of fact and a direct refusal of everything the ludus was built on. 6. The punishments. The ludus did not kill him. It preferred to grind. His rations were cut in half, then half again. He was made to scrub the training yard, hauling buckets of blood and waste from dawn to dusk. Then came the doctor's lessons. Every day for an hour he faced the oak staff of his master, not as training, but as torture. The doctor struck him again and again, teaching through pain. A cracked rib, a split lip, a broken silence. It was not rage. It was method. The ludus was a forge, and the lanista believed that pain made iron obedient. 7. The silence and the isolation. When pain didn't work, they took his voice. The order was given. "He is infamous. He holds himself apart. Let him be apart." The other men were forbidden to speak to him, to look at him, to acknowledge he existed. He trained alone. He ate alone. He slept in a cell so cold it seemed carved from ice. The silence was supposed to destroy him. Instead, it became his armor. In that isolation, he learned the only discipline the ludus could never own: the ability to exist without permission. He became the chain, but not the kind the Lanista wanted. 8. The Hidden Chamber. One night, while cleaning the armamentarium, Castus felt a draft, a floor stone loose in the corner. He pried it up and found a small hollow beneath. Inside were relics, a chipped blue pottery shard, a bent iron nail shaped into a ring, a dried sprig of thyme, and crude carvings scratched into the stone itself. Not names, symbols, a fish, an oak leaf, a trident, 3 mountains, marks of men who refused to vanish. This was not a tomb. It was a secret record, a familia of ghosts. 9. The Hidden Rebellion. Archaeologists have found such caches in the ruins of Capua, hidden pits beneath the floors of gladiator barracks. They held small objects, amulets, even foreign coins, worthless in gold, priceless in meaning. Each one a whisper against the silence, a proof that the Lanista's system of erasure had failed. The men had created their own history beneath their captors' feet. They had recorded not their victories, but their existence. Castus placed his smooth river stone among them. He didn't carve a mark. He didn't need to. He had joined a silent brotherhood of memory. 10. The Forgotten Names History Records. Spartacus, the gladiator who rose, who led the rebellion, who broke the chains. But it forgets men like Castus, those who fought quieter wars of endurance, defiance, and memory. The ludus of Capua trained killers for Rome's amusement, but it also trained survivors, men who learned to win the only fight that mattered, the fight to remain human. The iron gate groans shut again. The sound echoes across 2,000 years. It is the sound of a system built to erase men, and the faint, steady heartbeat of those who refuse to disappear. 11. The arena before the arena, or a hidden chamber beneath the ludus floor. Before any man stepped onto the sand, there was another ritual, one the crowds never saw. In a narrow chamber beneath the seating arches, gladiators waited in a room the trainers called the womb, a place where boys were unmade and fighters were born. The walls were scratched with thousands of lines, some deep, some shallow. Countless tally marks from men who had waited here before. Each line was a breath, a heartbeat, a reminder that no man entered the arena clean. Castus stood among the others, the air thick with oil, dust, and dread. He heard the muffled roar of the crowd above, a world that celebrated what it did not understand. Next to him, a veteran traced a groove on the wall, a mark he had carved before every fight. Not for luck, but to remember how many times he refused to die. Castus did not carve a mark. He simply closed his fist, feeling the phantom memory of the river stone he had left in the hidden chamber. He had placed his past into the earth. Now he carried only resolve. 12. The Brothers of the Bloodline. In the ludus, bonds formed not from love but from proximity to death. Men who had been strangers a month ago now breathed as one. They trained together, bled together, and sometimes died holding each other upright. Castus watched the veterans, the murmured prayers in foreign tongues, the rituals, the scars, the way they touched the ground before stepping onto the sand as if greeting an old enemy. He realized something the Lanista never intended. The ludus had forged not just obedience, but brotherhood. A brotherhood built on pain, but a brotherhood nonetheless. And in that brotherhood, identity survived. Not as names, but as gestures, glances, silent promises. The Lanista had created killers, the system had created ghosts, but the ghosts had created each other. The war beneath the arena. We remember the crowds, the sand, the blood. But before every cheer, there was silence. Before every victory, there was a man in a cold cell fighting not to forget his name. The arena ended lives. The ludus erased them. But the stone carvings, the hidden relics, and the quiet endurance of men like Castus prove that even in Rome's darkest machinery, memory fought back. If this story made you see the gladiators differently, not as killers, but as survivors, like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another buried truth from history. Comment below, do you think endurance is the purest form of rebellion? Because sometimes the quietest wars leave the deepest marks in stone.